Hey, Mike. What? Who's got next?
Welcome back to the Blacktop, y'all. I always got next. Now, a couple days ago, I posted a video on who I think the GOAT is. If you haven't had a chance to check out that, hit the link in the description and go check that video out. But it got me kind of thinking, who are my top 10 players of all time? And this is a list I've been wanting to do for a while, and there may be a couple guys on there that y'all might be thinking, Hezel, what the hell are you talking about? How are they not in your list? But at the end of the day, it's my list. You know, if you disagree with it, that's fine. If you agree with it, that's cool too. I'm just trying to have some fun with it. And before we get started, hit the subscribe button, man. It definitely helps me grow my channel if you're looking for consistent basketball content. So with that being said, let's get right into it. Now, number 10 on my list, I'm not going to go into crazy detail of why I think they're 10 to 1 and who's where. I'm not going to go into crazy detail. Just going to kind of talk about a little bit about each player and why they're there for the most part. So at number 10, I do have Larry Bird. Now, Larry Bird was before my time. I didn't get a chance to watch Larry Bird. The only thing I've seen of Larry Bird is all highlights and stats. But what I do know is he was a lethal three-point shooter. And if you would have put Larry Bird in today's NBA or just in general to where he was letting it fly 10 times a game from three like Curry does, and them guys, but I don't know. His career, I think, would have been kind of had a different trajectory. He's still one of the greatest small forward, power forward of all time, whatever, position you want to list him at, but he was a great scorer, great passer, great rebounder. He kind of did everything at a high level for the Celtics. I think he's a three-time champion, three-time MVP. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know Larry Bird's numbers all like that off the top of my head. But he is in my top 10. I got to give respect where respect is due. So that is why I have Larry Bird at number 10. Now at number 9, I have Wilt. Wilt the Stilt, man. And I know y'all probably thinking, how is Wilt only number 9? And honestly, man, the only reason why I even have him on the list is because I got to give respect to him because of what he did in his era. But at the end of the day, man, a lot of guys from those old eras, we can't keep them in the list forever. At some point, they have to fall out. And I know Wilt was great. I get it. But looking at the level of competition and the era that he played in, the amount of teams, it's hard for me to put him any higher than that. Again, I didn't even want to put him on the list, but to keep y'all from attacking me in the comments, I had to put him on there. So I have Wilt at number 9. I think he had a 50-30 season, which is crazy. No three-point line back in the day. I get all that, but again, the level of competition is why I have him as low as I do. None of us watch Wilt unless you're an extreme old head. So I'm going to leave it at that. So at number 8, I actually have Kareem. I'm sorry, not Kareem. Hakeem. My bad. Don't attack me. Hakeem, not Kareem. Hakeem Olajuwon. One of the greatest centers to ever do it. One of the best post scorers to ever do it. Crazy footwork. He probably has the best footwork of any center. Again, this is a guy I didn't really get a chance to watch. Kind of at the end of his career, but whenever he did win those 2 championships, Jordan was out the league. So, well, he wasn't out the league the first time. He did come back. I did talk about that in that GOAT video as well. But he did win 2 championships, 2 Finals MVP in that run with the Rockets. He is one of the greatest centers of all time. I do have him at number 8 on my list. Again, it's a guy that I didn't really get a chance to watch, so I'm not really going to elaborate too much more on that. So at number 7, I actually have Magic at number 7. Matter of fact, do I have Magic at number 7? I'm trying to think. No, I'm sorry. I don't have Shaq. I have Shaq at number 7. I got Magic somewhere else. I'm sorry. I got kind of all twisted up there. So I got Shaq actually at number 7. The most dominant center of all time, in my opinion. 4-time champion, 3-time Finals MVP. We all know what Shaq did in his prime. The Diesel was unstoppable. He was different. He was way bigger than everybody. The center position kind of was watered down in his prime, I will say that. But still can't take away from what he did. He probably could have won more championships if him and Kobe would have stayed together. I really wish they would have, but Obviously, we know how that all turned out, but he still got 4 championships, 3 Finals MVPs, the most dominant, player of all time, most dominant big of all time. Eat anybody in the paint. So I do have Shaq at number 7. At number 6, this is where I actually have Magic. I got kind of misconstrued there, but number 6, I have Magic, the greatest point guard of all time, the greatest passer of all time, 6'9" point guard with the Lake Show, that Showtime Lakers team. Again, another player I didn't get a chance to watch. Just based off of the film that I've watched and everything and the knowledge of basketball, he still is a top 10 player of all time. Regardless if you've watched him or you didn't watch him, you got to give respect where respect is due. And I do have Magic at number 6. Again, these are guys I'm not going to really elaborate too much on because I didn't get a chance to watch them. So, number 6 is Magic. Moving into the top 5, man. And this is gonna kind of where everybody might say, Hezo, what are you talking about? How is this dude top 5? Or how is this dude not top 5? Again, it's all my opinion. But at number 5, I do have Tim Duncan, the greatest power forward of all time, hands down, Mr. Fundamental, 5-time champion, 3-time Finals MVP, I think 2-time league MVP, had the longevity, was dominating at a high level for years and years. I mean, what can we say about Tim Duncan, man? It's did it all with one organization in that Spurs dynasty. I love Tim Duncan. He's one of my all-time favorite players. I loved watching him. I know he's not the most flashy dude, the most exciting player, but he was just great. And you gotta respect greatness and what he did for that Spurs organization. And that is why I have him at number 5, the best power forward of all time, Mr. Fundamental. Now at number 4, I do have Kareem, not Hakeem, like I said earlier. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is number 4. The most unstoppable move of all time, the skyhook. Now, again, this is one of those guys that I didn't get a chance to watch, but I know what he's done for the game, what he did for the Lakers and the Bucks, really, and how many championships? I think, 5 championships, 6-time Finals MVP. The numbers speak for himself. Number 1 all-time in the league in scoring, and that was without a three-point line for the most part. I mean, even if there was a three-point line, he ain't shooting them. He wasn't shooting them. He just had the most unstoppable move of all time with that skyhook. So, Kareem is my number 4. Some people think he's the GOAT. And I wouldn't argue against that. I wouldn't be mad at that. Kareem, I feel like, doesn't even get enough respect in the GOAT conversation for what he's done with those accolades and everything. It's usually always Jordan, LeBron, or, someone else. But Kareem, sitting at my number 4, probably could be higher, but I'll tell you why and who I have above him. So at number 3, I do have LeBron. And before y'all attack me in the comments, man, LeBron is my number 3. This is, again, my opinion. LeBron, I do like LeBron. LeBron, I love watching him. But when you look at, and I get that he has all those finals trips, I think 10 finals appearances. But when you look at those finals appearances, I know a lot of times he was outmatched, but swept in 07. I think swept the last year KD was with the Warriors. Correct me if I'm wrong. But I think swept twice in the finals. Collapsed in the 2011 finals, man. And I don't care what anybody says about that. That was one of the biggest choke jobs of any superstar player I've ever seen in an NBA finals. I think he averaged like 16 points and 5 turnovers. Again, I talked about all of that in my GOAT video, so I'm not going to really go too much more into it. But one of the greatest passers we've seen, at the small forward position. Still a great rebounder at 6'8", 6'9", whatever you want to list him at. And he probably will finish number 1 all time in scoring. That's fine. He's had the longevity. But when I analyze the two I have ahead of him, to me, I have 2 guys that are just killers, man. And based off of that, you probably know who's coming next. So I do have LeBron at number 3. Could be higher. Some people might put him at 2. Some people might say he's a GOAT. That's fine. I'm not mad at that. I'm not going to argue it. Again, this is all my opinion at the end of the day. So moving on to number 2. Number 2, I have Kobe. Kobe Bean Bryant. R.I.P. to the Mamba, man. We miss you. I love Kobe. Kobe's one of my all-time favorite players. I do have him at number 2. I think he is the second greatest player. when that Mamba mentality, man, when you look at Kobe and his game, obviously he's modeled a lot after Jordan and what he did in terms of how he plays, but Kobe was just a straight killer, man, and his work ethic was like no other. And to me, if you have Kobe outside of your top 5, that's just ridiculous. I'm going to leave it at that. I'm not even going to say nothing else. That's just ridiculous if he's outside of your top 5. To me, he's the greatest Laker of all time, second greatest player of all time, and I love Kobe. He was robbed of MVPs. Everybody knows that. I don't care what y'all say. You ain't going to tell me Steve Nash deserved MVP them years when he averaged 36 and got Smush Parker and Kwame Brown to the playoffs as a 6 seed and lost to the Suns that year. That's the only reason why that Steve Nash got the MVP. Kobe should have at minimum 3 MVPs. And that's a fact. I don't care what nobody says. You can debate it if you want. You ain't going to convince me otherwise. Kobe should be at least a 3-time MVP. But he's not. The league was hating him at that time. Whatever. Kobe is my number 2. Again, RIP Mamba. We miss you. As a basketball fan, you got to respect what Kobe has done. Even if you didn't like Kobe, you got to respect what he's done for the NBA and the impact he's had on the game. So, finally, my number 1 all-time player is Jordan. Obviously, if y'all seen my GOAT video, you know that Jordan's number 1 for me. I'm not going to talk about too much why. 6 Finals MVP, 6 championships. We all know what Jordan did, man. I don't need to rattle off Jordan's stats and everything. Everybody knows what Jordan did for the game, how dominant he was in the 90s, and even in the late 80s. And I get he was swept in the first round a couple times or lost in the first round a couple times, whatever way you want to say it. That's fine, you know. And nobody's perfect, and you're probably gonna say, "Oh, well, you're contradicting yourself, Hezo." You know, you're bashing LeBron for getting swept when Jordan was swept. I get it. You know, this is just, I think I hold LeBron to a different standard compared to Jordan. And to me, Jordan is the GOAT above everybody. Again, you can disagree with me. I said it in my GOAT video. I'm not going to go too much more into why I think Jordan is the GOAT, but he is the GOAT. And most clutch player of all time, arguably. Got it done when it mattered, man. Hit big shots when it mattered. The championships that he won. I love The Last Dance, man. If y'all haven't got a chance to watch The Last Dance, y'all definitely got to check that out on Netflix because that's probably the best documentary I ever watched. So that's my list, man. And I know probably the initial reaction is, where's Bill Russell? I know a lot of people are thinking, where is Bill Russell? But I'll be honest with you, man. I'm tired of people Bill Russell with me and Wilt Chamberlain me to death, man. I'm tired of it. When I look at Bill Russell, I think he is one of the most overrated players of all time.
What?
That's probably a hot take. I don't care. He's overrated, man. And I get 11 championships. That's fine. When you played in the 1700s and you're playing against nine other teams with playing against dentists and lawyers. Come on, man. Come on. I'm not going to get too much more into it. He never averaged over 20. I get he was a great defensive player, but them Celtics teams were stacked. There was no competition in that era outside of a couple guys. To me, Bill Russell is one of the most overrated players of all time. I don't care about the 11 championships, man. I don't. You can say what you want. He didn't play in an era that was a high talented era. So that's why I don't have Bill Russell in my list. I'm tired of people talking about all these old heads being on the list. The top 75 list was another, bullshit ass list that the guys that were included in that, and then guys that weren't, like Klay Thompson wasn't in that list. But I'm not gonna name names, man. But that's why I don't have Bill Russell in the top 10. And I was tempted to not include Wilt in the top 10. KD almost made my cut, and Steph Curry almost made my cut. When it's all said and done, Giannis will be in the top 10. You can hear it from me now. Giannis will be in the top 10 by the end of his career. Call me crazy. Call what you want. Say I don't know basketball. Say whatever you want. I don't care. You ain't going to convince me otherwise. What he's done for the Bucks already is incredible. It's remarkable. And you ain't going to convince me otherwise that he's not going to finish his top 10 of all time. So, with that being said, that is my list, man. Let me know what y'all think down in the comments. Am I smoking? Am I crazy? Let me know who I left out. If I got it right, if I didn't got it right, tell me why. And let me know what y'all think. And I will catch y'all next episode.